All right, it's time to go over the Los Angeles Chargers and try to pick away and see what we can get out of this offense as far as fantasy relevance. There's been a lot of changes in the offseason on this offense. No more Austin Eckler, no more Mike Williams, no more Keenan Allen. So we have to kind of see where our targets need to be for best fantasy output. Let's go ahead and pull up the depth chart here right now, and you can see we have Justin Herbert atop the depth chart as the quarterback with Easton Stick as the backup quarterback. Now, Justin Herbert, he is a really good quarterback, right? And a lot of people are writing him off this season, as we can see in this ADP right now, just because they say he has no targets. But hold on there, Slick. Let's just find out what he definitely has, right? Justin Herbert is liable to throw as many touchdowns as humanly possible. We know the team isn't going to be like Studley, right? So they're going to be in a negative game script. They're going to be throwing the football quite a bit, which makes Justin Herbert going to be throwing the ball quite a bit, in my opinion. Yes, we know Harbaugh comes over here, and it is more of a run style type of offense, kind of a run and defense, right? That's kind of what he's known for, not necessarily throwing the football. We saw just last year in college football, J.J. McCarthy really wasn't asked to do much. Will that could translate over to the NFL? I don't think so. Justin Herbert is a really talented quarterback, right? He's going to have some opportunities to throw the football all over the field. I see Justin Herbert as being one of the better fantasy quarterbacks this season, and definitely going to be finishing higher than what his ADP suggests right now. He has the talent of being a top 10 quarterback. He just does. You can get mad at me if you want, but he's that talented. He can get up there. So let's kind of break down where his running backs are. Let's look at the depth chart here. We see J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Isaiah Spiller, and the rookie Kaimani Vidal there. So we don't know what's going to happen with J.K. Dobbins. Is he going to be injured? Is he even going to make the team? Will he be a cap casualty? We're going to have to wait and see, right? As of right now, he is the best running back on this roster, in my opinion, as long as he stays healthy. His whole career, he just can't stay healthy, right? Him and Gus Edwards both were on the Ravens together, and J.K. Dobbins was the starter. He was clearly the best guy. They still have the same Ravens coach over here with the Chargers, and they still have the same backfield. So there's nothing that would say that J.K. Dobbins wouldn't be the starter if he's healthy. But then again, Gus Edwards, he's presumably going to be the starter this season, whether just because of JK's health or just because he might be a cap casualty and they have to just cut him. So either way it goes, Gus Edwards, if I had to pick somebody from this offense to kind of put your hat on, it would probably be Gus Edwards at this opinion. Isaiah Spiller, not really worried about him, and Vidal, a lot of people are really liking him. Oh, he's a new rookie sensation guy, whatever. He's too short. He's 5'9". What are you going to do with this guy? Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. I think he's 5'9". I don't know. He may be shorter than that. He's just a little guy that's not really going to produce much in this offense. Stay away from this guy. Do yourself a favor, right? Now let's do it with the granddaddy, what we all think here. We need to do the wide receiver position. Let's look at the depth chart here. And we see we got Quentin Johnson as the number one right here with Joshua Palmer, Ladd McConkey, Brendan Rice, Cornelius Johnson, and Darius Davis. Now, Quentin Johnson, his biggest issue has been his drops, right? Last season, we saw him drop so many easy receptions, and that's been a focal point for Quentin Johnson this offseason. He said he knows he's dropping the football quite a bit, and he needs to hone in on securing the football. I think he can do that today. Or this season. Quentin Johnson, it was a very highly talented wide receiver out of TCU, right? He was able to produce at a high clip, coming over here as a big body type of wide receiver, kind of can impose his force on the defense. And as long as he can, just put it all together, I think Quentin Johnson could be a fine number one wide receiver for Justin Herbert. Right now, especially if you're doing best ball drafts, you can get a nice little Justin Herbert, Quentin Johnson stack for pretty cheap. So you can't be mad at that, right? Ladd McConkey, he's the guy I really want to go over here, the rookie out of Georgia. A lot of people are saying that he could be the number one wide receiver. Very good route runner. I love the way that he can get open. He just creates his own space, and that could be really good for Justin Herbert. So Ladd McConkey is somebody that I am expecting some really good things out of camp. We can't forget about Joshua Palmer as well. He showed up last year, right? Especially with all the injuries or anything that he had, Joshua Palmer, he came out there and he was the man, bro. He showed that he can really produce at a high level for fantasy football and for the Chargers in general. So he's still there as well. Don't write him off. Any of these three guys that I just mentioned could be the number one wide receiver, and I really wouldn't bat an eye at that. I think that any of that can happen. Brendan Rice, the other wide receiver I wanted to go over here today. Brendan Rice is the son of Jerry Rice, right? And he was able to produce really high at USC with Caleb Williams as well. He's shown the knack or ability, a really aggressive a catching style, likes to just go get that football. He was drafted pretty late in the NFL draft, so he's not presumably going to be having a solid role right out the gate. But if he continues to develop and show this team that he can do something, Brendan Rice is another wide receiver that can come in here and do something for this offense. If you're at a last round pick and no one has Rice yet, you can just go ahead and throw him on your bench. and you never know, you see what happens. So let's move right along here. Let's talk about the tight ends here for the Chargers, and who knows what's going to happen. Right now I have Will Disley and Hayden Hurst there. We have to always remember Donald Parham, either the big tight end over there, likes to catch a lot of touchdowns. Who knows who's going to be the main man? If I had to put my hat on somebody, it'd probably be Will Disley, but Hayden Hurst is just as likely to be the #1 guy as well. We really don't know. This is just my first inclination of what the depth chart should be. We'll have to just wait and see. As far as the tight end position goes, I'm really not expecting much from it anyway. So I would probably stay away from it in fantasy football. Let's kind of go overview of the players that I would want to target here on the Chargers. I'm definitely saying Justin Herbert. I think he has enough value to be a good fantasy quarterback, and you can get him pretty cheap. And in most cases, you can get him as your second quarterback. I think Justin Herbert's an amazing second quarterback. If we're talking about running backs here, I wouldn't say go get a running back, but if you had to, I would say Gus Edwards would be somebody you want to throw out there. You definitely don't want Gus Edwards as one of your top 3 running backs. I don't think he's going to produce at that type of level. It's the wide receivers that I want here. I want Quentin Johnson. I want Ladd McConkey, right? Palmer is okay if you want to have somebody later on. I don't mind Palmer whatsoever. A lot of people have Palmer higher than a lot of these guys. I'm not as high on Palmer because I think Quentin Johnson takes a step, and I think Ladd McConkey is going to take a lot of receptions away from Palmer. And then I think if you want a late round flyer, very last thing to do, go ahead and grab you some Brendan Rice, guys. But that goes over the Chargers for us. Make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. And leave a comment down below. Out of these wide receivers, who is your favorite wide receiver to grab on the Chargers? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to have that conversation with you guys. But I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.